Nathan Simmons is what the Japanese sailors called me in song.
And I am Dustin Goes to Hollywood, and it's Gojira, you moron.
Tonight we'll ask Fat Pat, when will this movie end?
And this is the Silver Linings Playlist, a podcast that tries to find the silver lining in some of cinema's bleakest endings.
Yeah, eggiest endings.
Yeah, and we killed the beast.
We sure did.
And its baby.
Yeah. It sucks that Mally's not here because there's a ton of infanticide in this movie.
Oh, yeah, we should have mentioned that, yeah, Mally was in Madison Square Garden last time we heard from him.
That's right.
I don't know if he made it out. I haven't gotten a report yet. But that's okay because JT's still here. Hello, JT.
Hello, guys.
Hey.
I'm so excited to be back.
Me too.
I'm so excited to be back.
And we have a special guest on our return to season 8.
That's
because
right.
we had him here for the last time. We talked about Godzilla.
Godzilla.
And we figured that was a good Godzilla movie. Why don't we talk about a bad one?
Yeah.
So we're bringing him back. Please welcome back to the program, Michael Moss.
Hi, everybody. Godzilla House LLC.
Godzilla House.
I might have to put a ban on LLC jokes.
Zilla House LLC, as the Japanese refer to him.
Oh, God. Okay, so yeah, we are returning from our break that we took for your wedding, Nathan. You are now officially a married man.
It feels good. Feels good. And I gotta say, guys, I watched this movie last night with my wife.
Hell yeah, brother.
Sorry, everybody. Just call me Matthew Broderick because I don't know how to act.
I will say, if this is your first time listening to the show, we are, as I mentioned, the Silver Linings Playlist. What we like to do is we watch movies that don't typically end with happily ever afters. Not everything is wrapped up in a neat little bow. In this case, Zilla is fucking dead.
Ashley just texted me from the next room.
Zilla is fucking deadspill, as is its children.
Yeah.
And the words travesty, which I'm sure we'll talk about a lot, is more so than the destruction of New York, which was like 75 9/11s, is that Maria Pitillo is a terrorist in this movie. She is
I have so many thoughts about Audrey.
the primary antagonist.
Yes.
She is the primary antagonist in my book.
Yes. She's the Vera Farmiga character of this movie.
But yeah, so that's what we do. We watch movies that don't have happily ever after endings, and we try to find the silver lining at the end of them. And this is episode 201. We're kicking off a new hundo
with an American masterpiece.
Last time we did hide and seek is episode 101. You know what? Zilla doing a little bit of hide and seek in this movie.
Oh yeah, it's the perfect battleground.
Oh God. Okay. Anyway, so Godzilla 1998.
Yeah.
Nathan, this is your pick.
Yes.
I don't feel like I need really that much of an explanation as to why this one, because it makes sense to me in the trajectory of the show. But why now?
There's a couple reasons. One, so this is so there's so much wrapped up in this because the last time that we did Godzilla, we talked about Shin Godzilla, and very briefly I had considered putting this film on the schedule because the plan at the time was to do Godzilla -1, but that was not yet available on home video.
Right.
And for some reason, I still bypassed the only Oscar-winning Godzilla movie to do this one. But I will say Moss gave us a big old hell yeah when we brought it up to him.
Yeah.
And two, I remember seeing this movie in the theater with my grandmother, and it was one of my first exposures to a kind of sequel bait ending like this, where we get the lone surviving Godzilla. And I remember sitting in the theater and thinking, oh, you can do that. That's wild. And so I don't know. That's my shaky excuse for picking this movie.
Hey, that's totally fine.
Did you watch the animated series?
I did. Yes, I did. I've not watched it since it was on the air, but I remember enjoying it at the time and thinking it was better than this movie. I also am a huge fan of Godzilla Final Wars, in which this version of Godzilla is killed in 3 seconds.
Yep.
In Australia.
In Australia, while a Sum 41 song plays in the background.
It's so fucking metal. I love it so much.
So very quickly,
it fucking rules.
Very quickly, because I know we're going to have to talk to JT and Moss about this as the de facto Godzilla experts.
We got to.
I had this on VHS and I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Because I was 7 and fucking stupid.
Well, and P. Diddy's your favorite musician, right?
Let's not bring up my let's not bring up my Spotify playlist or anything like that. That is genuinely, it's a war crime what he does to Led Zeppelin.
This soundtrack fucking sucks, and that song sucks even more because Jimmy Page re-recorded the guitar for that version.
Just ruining one of Led Zeppelin's best songs.
Yeah.
Incredible
Oh,
stuff.
Yeah.
After waking up from watching this movie, I heard that in the credits.
Yeah.
It woke me up and it made me look at the TV like, did it start something else? I don't remember this at all.
This movie is the worst thing that P. Diddy's ever done. Worst thing that ever happened to New York City.
We should also say that we don't check the news regularly, so that is in fact the worst thing.
Why? Is anything happening?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Biden's still president, right?
How much time we got?
We got plenty. Real quick, Moss, please tell me your history with this movie in particular.
Okay, so I was lucky enough to have seen the Japanese Godzilla movies before this one.
Oh, same. Yeah.
So I had an understanding of the character, and I was not very much on board with this take on it.
Oh no, why not?
Oh, so even as a kid, you were like, "That's not my hashtag, not my Godzilla."
Hashtag not my Godzilla. Yeah. At the time, it was the pound key, though.
Of course.
Yes. So how did you feel that's the only reaction you had was like, this is trash, this isn't it?
Yeah, I was just like, man, this Godzilla movie really doesn't understand Godzilla.
It sure does.
For sure.
It's so awful.
And in fact, it is openly hates the idea of Godzilla. I mean, if you read any interview with Roland Emmerich about this movie, he's just like, I thought Godzilla was fucking dumb. He looks fat. There's so many interviews where he says Godzilla's fat. It's insane.
Just body shaming the man.
This might be the worst thing that Germany has ever done to us.
It is. And Moss has never read a history book.
Never once. Sure. Not once at all. JT, same question to you. How did you feel about this when you first saw it?
Well, when I first saw it as a kid, I was the same way as Moss. I grew up with the Godzilla films, and I was excited from all the promotion and stuff. I was like, okay, awesome. A new Godzilla movie.
And he meets the Taco Bell Chihuahua.
Yeah.
Do you remember those commercials?
But I do have I'm going to read my one and only note for this.
Oh boy, here we go.
Okay, pulling a Mally here.
I was just about to say.
Well, it's pretty long.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Same.
So, because I was like, well, the only place this fits is right here at the beginning.
Same.
God damn it.
Okay. I think Godzilla copied enough of the Lost World Jurassic Park's homework.
Oh my God.
To not get caught by the few fans it does have.
We got the same note.
Okay.
Absolutely.
In that regard, I guess it's fine. But if you remove the name Godzilla and excuse the misogyny and dated dialogue, we could say product of the times, but it makes a rewatch less nostalgic and even more exhausting.
This is like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, it keeps going.
This is a long note.
This
is good.
Yeah. This is first paragraph.
This is a run-on sentence.
With better writing, we could have had a fun film with the original monster that the U.S. has very little of. King Kong, Clover, and Trump being great examples of such. The best thing to come from this was a very decent animated TV spinoff with a host of original monsters for Zilla to fight, which shows the creativity was there somewhere. However,
that's a long note.
Yeah. As a lifelong Godzilla fan, this movie is an absolute insult to the franchise. It is known as the Godzilla we don't talk about.
The weird stepchild.
In the community. And like the time we accidentally farted out loud in class, we try to ignore it and keep moving it or blame it on somebody else. Godzilla was treated so poorly, it took Toho 16 years before they let us try again. And honestly, we're surprised they gave us another chance.
It's the Jared Kushner of the Godzilla franchise. Please keep going.
But not after Toho let us know what they thought in Final Wars, where Zilla got bodied in 40 seconds. That's the end of my note.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask, is that the end? Okay, yeah, I fully agree.
That's a good note.
Man, JT moved his final thoughts up to the top of the episode.
He sure did.
He was about to dip out.
So I did want to briefly just talk about, I mean, we don't want to get too deep into the weeds unless you guys have some notes about it, but just a little bit of the how we got to this point.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing I truly wanted to talk about that I feel like I have to because it's me is who was attached originally to direct this thing,
I knew you would be excited about this.
it's got us so far as the pre-production in it. And that is, of course, the great Jan de Bont,
Hell
otherwise
yeah.
known as the man behind Speed.
Yeah.
And even was employing the works of Stan Winston to design the Godzilla sculptures.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't approve his budget, which was, I think, $130 million.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, it was $30 million less than when it ended up actually being.
Right.
Because he wanted $100 million, and it ended up being $130 by the time Roland Emmerich got around.
I'm truly in shock.
Yeah.
And that original screenplay was written by Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio, who gave us like some of the great adventure movies of the 90s and the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
And then their script was like fully rewritten basically from the ground up because Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich were like, Godzilla's fucking dumb. We don't want to see monsters fighting monsters. We got to make this into something that makes sense to us. And it becomes more of one of Emmerich's like disaster porn movies than anything else.
It's not a good one either.
No, it's not. And it's, yeah, I mean, the apathy kind of pours off of this movie in every scene. It's so wild how fucking boring this movie is.
Jesus
like nothing
Christ.
is happening for huge stretches of time.
I was asleep watching this thing.
I fell asleep last night.
Yeah.
3 of us fell asleep watching this movie.
Yeah.
Nathan, I don't know about you.
We had to go to bed and finish it this morning. And I gotta say, like my favorite bit of behind the scenes stuff is that when they showed the new Godzilla design to Toho executives, there was apparently like 5 minutes of silence in the room, and they were like, "We'll call you tomorrow," which really gets me.
They're probably like, you know what? Pearl Harbor. How about this?
They had it coming.
That was only a few years away. That was only a few years away, too. Yeah, it's funny you bring up Lost World because this is 1 year after Lost World and 5 years after Jurassic Park. But yeah, the fifth act of this movie is like Jurassic Park, Jaws, and Alien, like all smashed together.
Yeah.
And that I had so forgotten about that quote unquote like sequel setup at the end of this thing that when it happened, I was like, I'm surprised this isn't a post-credit scene. I guess we weren't really doing those at the time, but it feels like it should have been.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that the Super Mario Bros. Movie 25 years later has the exact same ending.
Jesus Christ.
So let's real quick talk a little bit about the info around this thing.
Yeah.
Justin's taking my job.
I forgot you were here. And also, while I'm doing that, I do want to send you guys a picture real quick of Theo, because this boy,
Being cute as hell.
he's being cute as balls. I sent it to the group chat here. Anyway, while that is sending over, the year is 1998.
No.
The director, as we've mentioned a couple of times now, is Roland Emmerich.
Mm-hmm.
The movie stars, and this is Roger Ebert's website, and we're going to get into a lot of Roger Ebert here in a second. This is his list right here for the cast. Number 1 with a bullet, Harry Shearer.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Kevin Dunn, Vicki Lewis, then Matthew Broderick,
Wow.
Arabella Field, Jean Reno, Doug Savant, Michael Lerner, Malcolm Danare, and Maria Pitillo. Maria Pitillo dead last.
Yeah. A lot of TV actors in this thing. There's
Yeah.
like 3 Simpsons cast members in this movie.
There sure is. I think, isn't Nancy Cartwright in here somewhere?
She's his assistant.
She is. She's Harry Shearer's secretary.
That's right. The budget, as I mentioned, was $130 million. It managed to gross $379 million worldwide.
Uh-huh.
Currently has a 20% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oof.
And I know we like to try not to give them too much, weight to this thing, but I feel like with this movie in particular, especially how much the director does not like this movie, we could talk a little bit about this. Let's talk about the Razzies
Yeah.
from 1999. This thing was nominated for 5 Razzies and won 2. And I got some info here for you. So
That's pretty good.
it was nominated for Worst Picture. It was up against The Avengers, not that one,
Right.
Spice World,
Aw.
Armageddon,
Uh-huh.
and it lost to an Ali Smithy film, Burn Hollywood Burn.
Oh yeah, that movie's a disaster.
Mhm.
I personally, oh man. Yeah, Spice World rules. I'll fight. I'll die on that hill.
I'll die on the hill that Armageddon should not even be nominated, but we'll,
Armageddon's in the Criterion Collection.
That's right. What was the first one? There was
The Avengers.
That
Sean
movie,
Connery, Uma Thurman.
That movie was 2.5 hours cut down to 87 minutes. Like, it is unintelligible. I saw that in the theaters as well. It was a bad year.
Wasn't it like Sean Connery's trying to control the weather or something like that?
He is, yeah. And he wears a teddy bear costume at one point.
Incredible. It was also nominated for Worst Director. It was up against the directors of all the movies I just mentioned, except Spice World. That one got saved. And also, it lost to Gus Van Sant for Psycho.
Wow.
Which, yeah.
I mean, that's like giving a Grammy to somebody for a cover song, right?
That's exactly what the kind of logic I was thinking of. Absolutely.
Like the Psycho remake is like that Fast Car cover that like went platinum last year.
Yep.
By Luke Combs.
Yep. It was also nominated for Worst Screenplay. It was up against The Avengers, Spice World, Armageddon, and it lost to Joe Esterhaus for Burn Hollywood Burn.
Oh yeah,
It did win for Worst Supporting Actress for Maria Pitillo, and it was also the winner of
Bless her heart.
Worst Remake or Sequel, and it was tied with The Avengers and Psycho.
So Broderick not nominated for Worst Actor because
I don't know. I can look it up.
He doesn't seem to know how human beings speak, and that is a thing. Matthew Broderick has made his career out of giving stage performances on film. It's the I don't get his whole deal.
I don't. We're definitely going to get into him in just a little bit, but Worst Actor, yeah, he was not even nominated. It was Ray Fiennes for The Avengers. It was Adam Sandler for The Waterboy.
Oh, come on.
Jesus.
Worst Actor.
Ryan Philippe for 54.
I don't even know what that is.
Ryan O'Neal for Burn Hollywood Burn, and it lost to Bruce Willis for Armageddon, Mercury Rising, and The Siege all together.
Okay, but first of all, he's fucking great in Armageddon.
I agree.
Yeah.
By the way, the best movie ever made is Ben Affleck's Armageddon commentary.
He says that's his best work, and I agree. Okay, so we got to talk about it because it's infamous at this point. We got to talk about Roger Ebert's review on this thing.
Yes. So excited.
Cowabunga, dude.
Yeah, absolutely, Roger. So this is how he starts his written review. And don't trust me, audience, we're going to get to the At the Movies clip in just a moment. But this is the first line in his written review, which he did give, I think, 1 star, which is actually kind of generous.
Sure.
Considering he's given a couple of movies 0 stars. But
yeah, that's pretty generous.
This is how he starts. Going to see Godzilla at the Palace of the Cannes Film Festival is like attending a satanic ritual in St. Peter's. It's a rebuke to the faith that the building represents. And then maybe my favorite line from the review, he says, "You have to absorb such a film, not consider it. But my brain rebelled in insisting on applying logic where it was not welcome."
That's good. That's a classic Ebert slam.
And let's get into the At the Movies clip, which they do address Mayor Ebert and his assistant Gene. I think you guys will like what they have to say about it.
Yeah, this is so good.
I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times, and my colleague Gene Siskel had surgery a couple of weeks ago, and I'm very happy to report he's well on the road to recovery. Gene has seen all of the movies on today's program, and I think we're going to be hearing from him all during the show. Are you there, Gene?
Yes, I am, Roger. I'm Gene Siskel.
I should mention this is less than a year after, before Gene passes away.
I was about to say after.
Yeah, it's calling from the grave.
Forced to stare at for the next few minutes. I wonder if such a photo exists.
You're looking great, Gene.
Oh, thanks.
And they genuinely loved each other. As much as they argue, you can tell how happy Ebert is to hear from him.
Like they took apart 6 other monster movies, threw out the good parts, and then tried to reassemble what was left in the dark. Another problem I had was with the monster's size. He's as tall as a 30-story building in some shots, and yet here they're afraid he might escape into the 20-foot-high tunnel system. Those logical questions like that are sort of beside the point. What did you think about Mayor Ebert and his sidekick, Gene?
I thought that seemed petty.
Yeah, I did too.
It does seem petty, Roger. I mean, I was used as a villain in another picture called The Ref, and Siskel was the name of the villain. And, you know, it's such a distinctive name, an odd name, that, you know, audiences are thinking, well, all right, when's Ebert going to show up? Now, you shouldn't be thinking about that during a picture.
Yeah, the only good thing about Mayor Ebert and his sidekick was that at least Godzilla didn't step on us.
Well, but Roger, I
We changed
fully
the picture.
expected that to happen. And I think the audience is waiting for that to happen.
Yeah, maybe they should have included that.
Again, there
Bring him on stage.
The
at least squish him,
transition.
right?
exactly. There are missing scenes.
I just like they're like, I expected to be stomped on. I'm glad I wasn't.
Yeah, like if you're so they did that because Emmerich and Devlin were mad at the bad reviews that they gave to Stargate and Independence Day.
Yep.
And they're right. Like, if you're going to make fun of us, go a little further than he does thumbs up as on his campaign posters and likes snacks. Like, they're doing fat jokes about Ebert in this movie.
Yep.
Ebert played by the great Michael Lerner.
I was just about to say, as much as they think it's a slam, it's not that great of a slam when you have one of the best character actors
of all time. Yeah,
absolutely. Because
absolutely.
Michael Lerner is crushing it. It's maybe the best part of the movie.
Well, yeah, it's him and Azaria in a neck and neck race.
Yeah.
I think I would want my caricature to be stepped on,
To be
killed in some way.
Priscilla told me I have to stop doing that around the house, and it's becoming a tick that I can't control.
My wife does it around the house now.
His wife, etc.
Yeah, it feels good.
Okay, let's revisit the trailer, boys. Centropolis Entertainment, a studio I do not remember at all.
No, when that title card came up, I thought we had accidentally started Sky Captain.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, I've never heard of that before. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Panamanian government evidence of passengers dead or alive. Please stand by.
See, this is the island part of Jurassic or Lost World Jurassic Park.
Godzilla fucking hates boats.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Fucking despises them.
Yeah.
Or does he love them because he's wearing them like necklaces at one point?
I was gonna make a real bad joke. Maybe I should bleep it out and I'll let you guys hear it. But
All right.
it's his equivalent to his boat song.
Jesus Christ. By the way, on that fishing trawler, did you catch Al Long from Big Trouble in Little China?
I sure did. One of my first notes.
The second sentence on his Wikipedia page is often credited as, quote, Asian bad guy. I love him.
Is that the guy that's like an extra in every fighting? And
Yeah.
Dude, he's so fucking cool.
He's got the awesome mustache.
Right when this thing started, I paused it to go get my laundry to fold, and I paused it right on him. I was like, this fucking guy. I didn't even know he was in here.
He's the guy that Kurt Russell sees when he goes, "We may be trapped."
I love that we spent that entire trailer talking about Al.
It's more interesting than any fucking thing in that trailer. That trailer, which none of the marketing showed what Godzilla looks like.
Yeah.
All we got was his feet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's doing something for somebody, but I'd like to see a little bit more.
Tarantino loved that trailer.
Well, because if it showed us what he looked like, no one would show up.
Well, I was about to say, I tried to, as a bit for this episode, create a wiki feet page for Godzilla.
One doesn't exist already? That's shocking.
And I could not. No.
That's shocking. Yeah, no, I think it was probably smart to only show his feet because otherwise you get to see how dog shit he looks in this movie. And also,
he ain't got no dick. You guys notice that? They show like his crotch so many times he ain't even got no dick.
They do upskirt Godzilla a number of times.
Godzilla was born pregnant. You can't even see his dick.
This is the thing I really want to talk about right off the bat, which is
who edited this news footage?
No.
Do you also find it hilarious that the French created Godzilla in this?
I do.
What I really want to burrow down on, first of all, because this is 2025 and I don't want to get canceled, but is this a checkmate against the Republicans that say a man can't be pregnant? Like, does this put it into that stupid argument?
All right, y'all ready for the clap?
Okay.
Let's just start this shit over.
Yeah, let's start recording. Sound speeds.
Let's start this shit over.
Well, it is just funny that they're like, they keep calling him he, and they're like, he's pregnant and not, and
he.
They do a little he. And I don't know. I just thought that was funny. I was like, well, do we know for a fact that it's a he? Because like you said, I see no dong.
No dong.
That is I have that note where like an hour into this movie, Matthew Broderick says he's pregnant. And everyone's like, how is that possible? And my theory is that Matthew Broderick is like, I've already assigned a gender to this monster and I can't be wrong in my research. So I'm just going to tell, the guy Godzilla's do get pregnant. They get born pregnant. I'm not stupid. You're stupid.
It's like seahorses. The male has the baby.
That's right.
That's exactly what he's trying to do.
That's right.
Do these opening credits make y'all think that an iguana got radiation and turned into Godzilla?
Yes.
That's what it is. That's what
That
the
is what it
That's
is.
what the Wikipedia article says that it's about.
Oh.
The movie would also have you believe that someone at the blast site stood next to a lizard and got a close-up of its eyes while a bomb went off. So that person's dead.
Yeah.
Boys, I just realized where Matthew Broderick's character name comes from.
Oh, you didn't know this?
No, I
Yeah.
didn't.
He's named after the guy who designed Godzilla, Patrick Tatopoulos.
That's so funny.
Hip Hop Anonymous.
That guy becomes a joke in this movie. One of the 3 jokes this movie has is,
God.
his name's too difficult. The Greeks, you know?
Isn't it so funny? God. But it's also funny that these opening credits are almost exactly like the 2014 reboot ones are.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that in the theater, and when the opening credits started, I had a sinking feeling. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, they're doing it again.
No, my first problem with the movie appears right here in the opening credits.
We never should have built the nuclear bomb.
That guy's definitely dead.
When it says starring Matthew Broderick, I was like, well, there's your first
Man.
problem with the Godzilla movie.
This part was written for him, and he signed on without reading the script.
That's crazy.
And my question is, how in the world did Matthew Broderick become an A-list movie star?
I don't know, man. It's
I
just,
can count on one hand how many things I've enjoyed him in. The producers
Yeah.
and 2 episodes of 30 Rock.
yeah.
Him and Modern Family is good too.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
What was Ferris Bueller like his big breakout?
Yeah.
Like,
It
that's when
is.
Yeah.
By the way, Ferris Bueller is one of the most evil sociopathic characters in the history of film.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, we get the credit based on the character Godzilla, and I really wish it said based on a true story.
He doesn't work in this movie because he never speaks above a gentle tone.
No.
When Maria Pitillo destroys this man's livelihood
Yeah.
and makes him like an enemy to the U.S. military,
No.
he's like, I'm so upset at you.
Oh, shucks.
It's like, no, I didn't.
Ashley's favorite line delivery in the movie is when he goes, "You think that gave you the right to steal my tape?"
Yeah. God,
Oh, he's so pathetic.
that's the exact inflection he has for the entire 2-hour runtime.
He gets on the camera at the end of the movie and he goes, "These creatures could replace us as the dominant species on the planet." That's the importance he gives it.
God, yeah. And the movie goes downhill after the intro because I do feel like these opening credits go a lot harder than any part of the rest of the movie does.
I kind of like this opening set piece with the boat getting attacked.
I like this opening set piece a lot.
Yeah, it's just I feel like all of this is kind of forgotten, and it feels like the movie acting like, oh, we got to pay lip service to the Japanese getting attacked,
Yeah.
and then move on from that immediately.
Yeah.
Well, and also this scene gets undercut when it cuts
Wait,
to
here he is.
Yeah.
Hey.
this scene gets undercut when it cuts to Matthew Broderick in Chernobyl listening to Singing in the Rain. And guess what he's doing, guys?
He's
Driving
singing
in the rain.
He's singing while driving in the rain.
Well, Matthew Broderick, he's a song and dance man. He always listens to appropriate tapes on headphones while he's driving like an asshole. He wears at all times. There's like 12 characters in this movie who wear one of those Billy Bob Thornton Kangol hats.
God.
Like everyone's wearing them or a beret in this movie.
It's fucking obnoxious. But yeah, he's studying worms in Chernobyl and the radioactive fallout from the nuclear plant melting down.
Putting worms in his suitcase that's covered in photos of his ex-girlfriend.
What a fucking creep. Their relationship is the most toxic thing next to the radioactive dinosaur.
It's so wild.
Which I never cared enough to do the research, but this where he does the electricity to bring the worms up.
Yeah.
That always grossed me out as a kid. Like the shot where they're just coming up.
Where he's like Frankensteining him.
Yeah.
They love it.
I guess. I mean,
I bet it feels really good for the work.
So the U.S. military picks him up and he takes him to Tahiti, right? And he's
Yeah.
like, we we got a sample we need you to study. And he goes, I don't see it.
Yeah.
As he's standing inside a giant footprint.
Everyone talks to him like an asshole. Like
He
they
is an
need
asshole.
him. Well, he is an asshole, but they brought him here because they need his research. And he's like, what is it? Some kind of spill? And the sergeant goes, yeah, something like that. I'm like, you hired him. Brief him on the situation. You think there's a monster. Don't just be like, I don't know, look around at the dirt, dummy. Like,
Well, not only that, but I would not equate a spill to a footprint.
No.
From a giant monster. Like, I would not equate those two things.
well, he's an idiot.
He is an idiot. But yeah, they have this moment where Jean Reno, who is like the leader of the French Secret Service with all his Frenchmen.
Did you catch all of the French guys' names were Jean?
Oh, was it really?
Except for Jean Reno, who plays a guy named Philippe. The rest of them are Jean-Philippe, Jean-Luc. Like, it's so funny.
Okay, that's pretty good.
That's a good joke.
That's pretty good. But no, they interview one of the Japanese men that were on the boat that gets attacked in the opening scene.
Yeah.
And this is, of course, the famous scene where like this Japanese older man is like catatonic.
Gojira.
And Jean
Gojira.
Reno pulls up a lighter and flashes it in front of his eyes.
Gojira.
Ashley will just say this to me around the house sometimes. Like, she'll just say, Godzilla.
Gojira.
Yep, he says Gojira, Gojira. But it's also funny because then the U.S. military has somehow gotten a copy of the exact camera angle.
I know.
There clearly is no camera here.
It's the scene from Spaceballs where they watch Spaceballs
Yeah.
on VHS.
Yeah,
They just have the video. My note here is this was how conservatives reacted to the Olympics opening ceremony. They're like, what did you see, old man? And they're like, Gojira, Gojira.
Hell yeah.
Going back to what JT said about this ripping off the Lost World,
Oh, yeah.
I have a note here that says this movie is so Jurassic Park coded, it's fucking annoying.
It really is.
Dr. Craven is literally dressed like Dennis Nedry.
Yeah.
We've got the great Vicki Lewis here as another scientist who barely is a character.
Yeah.
Well, she is too horny to be a character. 'cause
She's
this woman,
too horny for science.
if I had to give her one character description, on the casting sheet, it would say too horny for science.
I'd love to.
Horny Almain.
I'd love to throw out a character she played that it was very important to me as a kid.
Hmm.
Do you guys remember the beret girl from an extremely goofy movie?
Oh,
Hell
sure do.
yeah.
Sure do.
That's her.
God.
That's fucking hilarious.
There's 4 PJs on this call right now.
We get introduced to Maria Pitillo, and this pretty much killed her movie career. Like, it was
Yeah.
just kind of getting started.
It's so weird.
But I feel like in the 90s, you could chalk that up to, well, that's just Hollywood sexism. In this particular instance, I also think it's because she is not an actor. She is terrible in this movie, man.
I think she's fine. I think she's doing fine with the material she's given.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know, man. There's not one good scene with her in it to me.
So I would agree with Nathan up until the part in the rain where we were just talking about where
Yes.
it's been exposed.
Yeah.
Anytime when she and Matthew Broderick have a meet cute at a bodega during a monster attack and the score from The Princess Bride kicks in.
I feel like we need like an Alicia Silverstone or a Brittany Murphy, somebody with some kind of energy.
Yeah.
She is dead-eyed through most of the movie, even though she's trying to play up like that clueless kind of vibe to herself.
But she's also saddled with scenes where I guess it is kind of her fault because Harry Shearer is able to make this character that doesn't, because Harry Shearer's character is nothing and he makes this work. He literally has scenes where he's like, Audrey, you're beautiful. And somehow he's still enjoyable to watch.
If I was her, I'd be like, hello, sexual harassment lawsuit. Bye.
But it was
Get
the
fuck out of
90s.
here.
This man is very chill about, he's like,
Yeah, you're
listen,
probably right.
I'm trying to cheat on my wife.
I love that he's named after a member of the alligator family in Cayman.
Oh, I missed
right.
that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Mr. Cayman. I do like the little gag where his new anchor is taller than he is and he doesn't have like a seat that goes up. So
Yeah, he's like, can I get a phone book or something?
very Tom Cruise coded.
Yeah.
But everybody's really horny because we have that scene where he tries to sleep with Audrey, and then we smash to Elsie being like, so is there like a Miss Tatopoulos? Can I fuck you?
You're like, see, it goes both ways.
But yeah, they find this ship washed ashore that's got these giant claw marks in it.
Yeah.
And Man, I leapt out of my seat when I saw one scene in this movie. I don't know if you guys caught it. It's very quick.
Okay.
But it has to be an intentional homage. And it's in this scene because, you know, Jean Reno gets introduced to Harry Shearer.
Yeah.
Or not Harry Shearer. I'm sorry.
Kevin Dunn.
Do you guys recognize what this is?
Bumblebee tuna?
Bumblebee tuna.
Bumblebee tuna.
Bumblebee tuna?
He finds a bunch of cans of tuna on the beach and it's Bumblebee bread. And
Yeah.
I leapt out of my seat. I was like, this has got to be a nod to Ace Ventura, right?
No, I think it's literally just that's the brand that sponsored the movie.
That's
Yeah.
probably true, but I just felt like, to me, that's the why when I hear the phrase Bumblebee tuna, that's what I think.
Sure.
This was a potential prop cop.
Oh, hell yeah. It's one of mine as well, actually. And then, this is just where I wrote down that, Godzilla fucking hates boats. All this movie is him just fucking up boats, sinking boats, throwing boats in the air.
I would argue Godzilla hates all modes of transportation.
He
Yeah.
does.
He does.
He fucking hates a cab.
Godzilla's a bit of a NIMBY.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Not in my backyard. I'm all for you guys. I am all for you guys having your fishing vessels, but not in my backyard.
Not in my
man.
backyard.
I do like that when he brings down these American fishing vessels or whatever, that like there is something that is very haunting about being in the middle of the ocean at night.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And your ship's just sunk. Sharks are the least of your worries. There is a Godzilla swimming around beneath you. That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
And this trawler, like there's like a hurricane level storm happening. This trawler gets brought down. Then we see the plane that Broderick and the rest are on, and they're not jostling around at all on the inside.
And then, we cut to the New York City. We get the fisherman
Right.
that's going out to catch his fish.
Oh, right before that, we get Lucy as Lucy, who's Audrey's friend and Animal's wife.
Yeah.
Animal, played by the great Hank Azaria. And she's just like, you're like a soft piece of shit. You'll never succeed at anything.
They both are like that.
Yeah.
They're like, you're softer than baby shit. Like, you got to get a spot.
Dude, she has horrible friends.
They're
She
the
does.
worst.
So, we cut to, quote unquote, the city that never sleeps, which I
Uh-huh.
thought was an incredibly annoying lower third. 'Cause
Yeah.
none of the other places got that. But this old man goes out to fish. And I do love this scene.
Damn it. Shut up.
There was a teaser that was just this scene, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Well, they showed it in the trailer we watched. but
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I feel like Godzilla would rip this man's arms off
Yeah.
holding onto this fishing rod.
Well, he throws the lure out, and it just like you're telling me Godzilla grabbed this little hook, but he's not. You can't see him.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, and also, how deep is the Hudson River?
Right.
Because, god damn.
I don't think it's that deep.
So so also from when we see Godzilla, there's no way he threw that line all the way out there. So
No.
I'm assuming maybe he actually got a bite from a fish.
And then Godzilla got the fish.
And then he looked up and saw Godzilla, so he just let go of the pole. I don't think
Sure.
Godzilla himself got the
Sure.
Okay, I will buy that. I will say Mally's bit part here is the guy who goes, only thing you're gonna catch is a cold.
It is a very Mally-coded line. But I do like that, we get introduced to Mayor Ebert, who's having like a campaign rally because it's a re-election month.
Right, yes.
As he says. And I love the thumbs up. And I like that his assistant, Gene, even has like the horseshoe hairstyle. That's pretty great.
Yes, yeah.
I do think this whole beginning where Godzilla first comes to New York is actually pretty good because
The tremors making the car alarms go off is a really nice touch.
that's really great. It does have like the Red Triangle Gang and Batman Returns kind of vibe where like people are at this rally and like
Yeah.
something is coming. We don't know what it is. One of the great shots though in this scene is when it cuts to this cop and it does the Hitchcock zoom on him.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
From just seeing the debris falling in slow motion. That's fucking great, I think.
That's pretty good. I did laugh because Godzilla's been on the shore for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And like 5 minutes into this set piece, another boat falls off of him.
I know,
It
that's what I'm talking about.
made me laugh so hard.
He fucking hates boats, man. I don't know what to tell you. But also, like this movie is right in the pocket of where a lot of this stuff theoretically could happen and no one is aware of it because this is like people had cell phones at this point, but they were not readily available. So
Right.
like the fact that like Mayor Ebert is having this rally clearly in the middle of the city and Godzilla has already walked all the way over here and nobody's called to be like, hey man, there's a Godzilla loose. You know what I mean?
There's a Godzilla.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys know that Blue Oyster Cult song? It's happening outside.
And then we got Barney on the TV at this news station because of course we do.
Yeah.
And then this creep news anchor, not hearing nor seeing Godzilla walk by.
I know.
What do you guys think? He's maybe like 21 stories tall.
Yeah.
You don't feel anything?
Like peeks in and he's just like, I don't know. I'm too busy talking. Ashley and I were very distracted by Audrey sucking on this lollipop while she talks about Matthew Broderick.
She's so horny.
It's just a very weird choice. It's such a weird choice.
The oral fixation in the middle of the Godzilla movie is an odd choice.
It's very weird.
Well, that's what it is because she sees Matthew Broderick on the TV and she's like so goddamn wet.
I gotta get something in my mouth. I gotta get some dum-dum in my mouth. And if it's not him, it's this one.
That's what my wife says all the time.
Okay, so like this scene right here, I didn't realize until this watch that Animal actually works at the news station because I was like, this dude just picks up a camera and knows how to work it. And he does it throughout the entire film.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So her boss doesn't, like, the building isn't shaking or anything. He doesn't hear nor see Godzilla walk by because he's on the phone.
Right.
And yet when it cuts to the next shot, which is Audrey and the friends in the bar.
In the diner.
The whole ground is shaking to the point where Lucy says, it must be one of those parades.
Jesus.
And I'm like,
what parade?
Yeah.
I've been to parades. I don't think I've ever been to one where the ground shook. Like,
Dog, you gotta go to Pride.
Oh, hell
It's like that. That's what it's like.
all right.
Godzilla's an ally. And not an ally is Lucy, who calls her husband the R slur when he runs out of the diner to get video.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy.
I wrote in all caps, wow, we get a hard R back in this movie.
I don't know if you guys are Simpsons fans or not, but like Hank Azaria slips into his Mo voice in this scene. Like when Godzilla's coming towards him, he goes, geez. Like,
that's the thing. If I'm Hank Azaria, I would not be saying, whoa, when I see the back of Godzilla turn around a corner. I'd be shitting and crying and farting. I'd be
coming and just jerking off one more time.
That's the thing. That's me in most of these movies where there's giant monsters and shit. How are you not like, like, how are you not doing anything?
The only reason he's still alive is because he slipped between Godzilla's little peonies.
But now they got camera footage that he has no penis.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true.
Yeah. Everybody knows you ain't got a dick, Godzilla.
Also, that footage is terrible.
Yeah.
It's awful.
He's shaking the whole time.
It's unusable.
Well, this is where the military brings in Matthew Broderick and they're like, okay, here's what we're doing. And then there is like this colonel that the general is like talking to the whole time. And he's like, we lost him. What do you mean you lost him? And I'm like, you know what? You guys deserve everything that's about to happen in the next hour and a half. If you lose this fucking giant lizard running through New York City, you deserve everything that comes to you.
Is this when we see lightning strike the Twin Towers
Boy,
as planes fly right towards
the
them?
best scene in the movie?
Yeah.
I knew you were going to pull it. I knew you were going to pull it.
It is so fucking ominous. They put lightning strikes behind the Twin Towers may as well get like secondary credits, like, and with the Twin Towers, because there's so many shots of these things.
Dude, if we ever do Secret of the Dudes merch, the Twin Towers have got to be on it.
Oh, yeah.
Never forget. That's Leonardo.
They do get glory shots throughout the movie. It is so fucking funny.
Because Matthew Broderick tells us that Manhattan's perfect because it's an island surrounded by water.
No, it's not.
And it's a place where Godzilla can easily hide.
No,
None of those things are true.
Yeah.
But this is also, too, because we talked about the score briefly earlier. I don't like when it gets whimsical like this, because when he's describing why New York is the best spot.
This score is terrible.
It gets twinkly. Like this is like an adventure movie, you know?
No, David Arnold thought he was scoring an Indiana Jones movie because like every time Jean Reno does anything, we get like a bum-ba-da fanfare. It's so annoying.
Well, this is also too where like, you know, everyone starts trying to get out of the city, and much like in Cloverfield, which I'm sure we'll talk about a couple of times in this episode.
Yeah.
In no goddamn way am I getting in a tunnel when a fucking dinosaur the size of a skyscraper is running around the city. No fucking way.
And I got to tell you, I love Harry Shearer's dedication to delivering the line, there is a dinosaur in New York City. I almost said Gotham City. I want that movie. Yeah, and I do love the moment when they cut back to the newsroom and everyone is applauding Animal, like when he comes back in. I was very invested in Animal's entire storyline in this movie. I don't know why. I think it's just because I love Hank Azaria.
I don't know, man.
He is a shitty friend in the beginning. He does try to make some kind of redemption at the end.
Sure.
Yeah.
But also, given what we learn about Audrey, maybe he's just treating her the way she does.
Dude, she draws a couple of slurs on him, and it's crazy.
Oh, I missed that.
Well, the R one we've already covered.
Yeah.
Well, Lucy said that. Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
This suspended hole in the skyscraper right there, did he just jump through it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he just
man.
walks through the MetLife building like Wile E. Coyote.
And also, that's not the only time we had to bring up the World Trade Centers because, as her boss says in the helicopter, in what city officials are describing as the worst act of destruction since the World Trade Center bombing. And I'm like, oh boy,
I know.
yeah, you got 3 more years until that story's going to be coming back up again.
Do we think 9/11 still happens in this universe?
That would be real shitty because by the time they rebuild this city,
Right.
would be 2001.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like kicking them while they're down.
Yeah. It'd be like 3 years later. Yeah. And then they have the nerve to poke at Warner Brothers and Disney by saying, "Oh, the Warner Brothers and Disney stores are being looted."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, guess who doesn't have fucking merch stores? TriStar Entertainment.
exactly. They don't have their own Six Flags. You know what I mean?
What's wild is there's so many scenes where we cut back to Jean Reno and his guys bugging the military, bugging the mayor, etc. And their one joke is that they're just trying to get used to American food. Like they get donuts, and Jean Reno is complaining because there's no croissant.
No croissant. Yeah.
Just as a side note, you can get a fucking croissant in New York City and a decent cup of coffee.
Oh, I'm sure you could.
It was the 90s.
There were so many attempts at jokes in this movie that just do not work, man.
Yeah.
This guy with the goldfish on the train, though, like he's just holding his goldfish.
Oh, I know. And there's so many jokes that I wish they did. Like, they can't find Godzilla, and one soldier comes in and goes, "We've run into a problem, sir." And I wish it was that Godzilla dressed up like a lady, Bugs Bunny style, was like outrunning them.
Hell yeah. I do have a question.
Yeah.
Is this the first movie where a scientist suggests a plan to the military and they actually listen to it?
Right.
Because Matthew Broderick may as well be deputized the way he's running these soldiers around, like he's got his own military.
Yeah.
But his plan is, they're like, "What do you suggest?" And his plan is, if you're trying to hunt an animal, you should use bait.
Yep.
He's like, "Well, when I had to catch earthworms," and then like I would just say like, "Shut the fuck up." As soon as he said that part of the sentence.
That's exactly what I imagine happens in most movies, you know? But like, what evidence does he have that Godzilla likes fish?
Yeah.
He's found the bumblebee tuna.
You know what?
And then there was fish in the subway system.
I'll shut the fuck up. You know?
Yeah,
Like, you're absolutely
Dustin,
right.
you would never make it as a scientist. I'm disgusted by you.
Well, that's one of many reasons.
That and you only believe in religion.
Yeah. Absolutely. And, you know, vaccines not working and all that good stuff.
Right.
So we get another Hitchcock zoo whenever they do this fish plan on Matthew Broderick, but it is so unearned.
Right.
Like they have this, their plan is we'll get a bunch of fish, we'll put in a big ass pile, we'll lure him out, and then we'll blow him to fuck. And they do a zoom on him when he first sees Godzilla, but like when you get the full shot of Godzilla, like what he truly looks like, unbroken and everything, it is some of the worst CG. Like it looks
and
like
it looked bad then.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't impressive then.
I was watching it. I was like, man, the dialogue is horrible and stuff like that. You know, product of the times, like I mentioned. But the CGI is that's the one thing that I was like, I want to try to like be like, okay, it was new, whatever. But holy shit, it's so bad.
And like, well, they kept shitting on like man in a suit, but a man in a suit would have looked better.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing with these movies, like you can always, because it is a CG element, you can always go back and adjust what he looks like and everything and make him look better. But I mean, who would give a shit at this? Like, that's one of the many issues with this movie. That
Apparently, the 4K of the movie, there's like digital alteration to make the effects look a little better, but I can't imagine that they fixed it.
It still looks like shit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I knew Moss would have the skinny on that.
It still looks like shit.
This is when my wife said that Matthew Broderick looks like 3 kids in a poncho.
Well, here's the thing too. It feels like they're going for like a Fay Ray and King Kong.
Yeah.
With the relationship that they try to develop between Godzilla and Matthew Broderick. I'm like, no, he's a dinosaur.
Yeah.
He should just be like this shot where like the two of them are looking at one another and he's like taking his picture and everything.
Yeah.
Godzilla should just bite his fucking head off. Like, I don't know.
Or Matthew Broderick should have kissed him.
Yeah. Kiss in the rain. Oh my God. Yes.
Oh my God. Spider-Man style.
Hell yeah.
With his Bugs Bunny as a girl lips.
There you go. By the way, these pictures on the disposable camera are going to look like shit that he's taken throughout this movie.
Because he's the same color and light as the buildings around him. You're not going to be able to see fuck all.
Yeah.
And also, you can't rip off Jaws this far in when the colonel says, we need bigger guns.
I wrote down, how dare you?
It's not even the right line reading.
Wait, so also Godzilla's roar is like flipping cars later.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. He never breathes fire, but he will blow a car away to the point where the cars explode, thus creating fire.
Don't even get me started on that.
I read this interview with, I think it was Dean Devlin, who said, like, we didn't want him to breathe fire, but people complained about the fire breath not being in the movie. So what they did was they added like a breath effect over it so that they were like, we wanted to imply that if there's an explosion near Godzilla when he's roaring, something in his breath ignites. And I was like, I don't get that at all. It just looks like an explosion happened next to him.
Yeah.
It's just like his breath is gasoline. That's all we're saying.
Yeah.
Like they redid his design. They took away his fire breath. He doesn't even do the roar, Shrek style. But he like, I'm so like, why would you make a Godzilla movie and just say fuck everything that has to do with Godzilla, up to and including his ties to, Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Like, I just, it's so misguided in every way.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't even hate the design of Zilla. Again, if you take the Godzilla name out of it, it could be fun.
Yeah.
Like, it could be, I mean, it'd be a shitty 90s movie, but
well, there's moments in this movie that feel like when like a Sci-Fi Pictures original, and I can kind of fuck with that. Like if this was the Asylum's, giant lizard movie, then I can give it some leeway.
Man,
but this was a major production.
Yeah,
him ducking out of the way of those rockets is so fucking funny. But the thing with that Roland Emmerich said was, if we're going to make a Godzilla movie, I want Godzilla to be able to move fast. He's too slow. It's too boring. And I'm like,
it's fucking ugly and fat. He keeps saying.
You don't do anything with him. You know what I mean?
Right.
I also don't understand that criticism.
No.
Godzilla's not slowly lumbering around. He is slowly lumbering around for how big he is, but he's still like covering miles and miles of area.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it also like, they change how big he is versus how fast he can move throughout the movie just to fit the environment.
Yeah.
But like he is booking it through Manhattan to escape these attack helicopters.
Right.
And then later a taxi cab is able to outrun him.
Yeah.
So,
well, and that's right. They said we're doing not 8 and he's still outrunning us.
Yeah.
There's something to be said. I mean, we talked about this a little bit with Shin Godzilla, and I think it's done to great effect in -1. There's something to be said for the inevitability of Godzilla. The fact that he moves so slowly and is still just destroying everything in its path. Like, the fact that you can't stop him is what's scary about Godzilla, not, oh, fuck, he's so fast.
Right.
I'm just thinking about that building that he tries to climb over and check out.
It's so good.
He's just like flailing up that building. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
I also like this helicopter pilot who blows up the Chrysler building by accident and
Yeah.
just
Dude.
goes, aw, damn.
It is so fucking funny the way they... Godzilla hates monuments.
It's the one gag in the movie that I think is actually good.
The attack pattern of these helicopters is like so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like you can't have that many helicopters going through the streets of New York.
oh yeah, later on.
Yes. There's like 17 of them later on together.
Yeah.
We can all agree if we were flying these, it wouldn't have gone down like that, right?
No,
That's right.
absolutely not. Godzilla would have been down.
That's right.
Emmerich shoots New York the way Schumacher shoots Gotham, and I do think that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's like almost the exact same aesthetic.
The sort of weird canted zooms and stuff.
Yeah.
The canted zooms, the way the architecture is lit and everything. the craziest thing in this movie, besides Godzilla being able to just disappear off radars and everything, is when he trolls these helicopters because they lose sight of him. He puts a hole into a building and then walks around to the backside of a different building. So when they start shooting into the hole of the one building,
they think they got him.
It's so fucking.
It's really good.
You know what? He's the scamp of the movie.
And I have it in my notes.
I might go so far as to even say he's a bit of a hooligan.
Whoa. Have we graduated to rapscallion yet?
I don't know if he's rapscallion status, but I do feel okay calling him as a hooligan.
Also, so Godzilla, like, dodging missiles from like the first shot implies that he knows how missiles work.
Yeah, he knows what they are. That's right.
He knows what they are, so he's done his research before arriving.
Yeah. He did his own research.
He did.
He went on to Ask Jeeves.
He also celebrates escaping by humping a skyscraper.
Just like shit Godzilla does when he's trying to get over that building.
I remember as a kid thinking that shot fucking ruled.
Yeah.
With the lightning in the background.
It's a good idea for a shot, but the design, there's something about the face in the design that I don't care for. It's too like long and not angular. Yeah, he is like
he looks like he should be going.
But I think the animated series realized how silly that looks, and I think they changed it to the Empire State Building or the Chrysler Building or something.
Yeah,
and he does that in the intro, and it looks so sick.
Yeah.
There's also this bit where Sergeant O'Neill says like, we threw everything we had and we did nothing to him, and Nick just goes, we fed him, and I'm like, people are dead, Nick.
Shut the fuck up.
Shoot this man in the head, Sergeant. Shoot him. So I must have missed something, because why does he think of the pregnancy test?
I don't know. He finds blood on the ground and is like, I'm going to
find some goop.
Yeah. This man finds any goop on the street. He's like, I got to find out if whatever left this behind is pregnant.
Here's where Matthew Broderick would work in like a Billy Crudup-esque Alien Covenant role in one of those movies.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
Give me that. I want to watch that movie.
Or Matthew Broderick as Dr. Manhattan.
Oh, yeah.
I'm tired of this world. It's people.
I'm tired of this world. Maria Pitillo.
I feel like this movie would work a lot better if
it was a different movie.
Yeah, honestly. But if we didn't have the whole military aspect and it was just like a POV character like Hank Azaria in this.
So it's Cloverfield.
Yeah, essentially. That would be better.
I agree.
Maybe. I mean, I like what's his face. I'm looking through my notes here. Is it Kevin Dunn who's running the military in this one?
Yeah, I like him a lot.
I like him. What I like about him is he is the gruff military like leader in a movie like this, but he's not like talking down to everybody. You know what? He's listening to the scientists and everything like that. I do like that aspect of it.
What's weird is we're first introduced to Glenn Morshower, and you as like the head of the military, and then he disappears from the rest of the movie, and it's Kevin Dunn in charge.
Yeah,
it's also weird that like the U.S. president isn't really involved at any point. Nobody even says the words like the president's on the phone. Mayor Ebert gets more access than the president does.
Yeah,
I want you to bomb Godzilla. I've never gotten to do a Bill Clinton impression on this show before.
We'll mark that one off the list.
Well, we know he was busy.
He was very busy.
He missed the call.
The more recent movies, it's like, hey, listen here, Jack. You gotta kill shoot King Kong.
I will say he was busy. Clint was busy because he was playing saxophone on Arsenio that night.
That's right. That's right. And the Animaniacs. Don't forget.
I'm pretty sure pretending to be the press is incredibly illegal.
Oh,
and that's just one notch against Maria Pitillo committing war crimes throughout this movie.
Yeah.
She also so we learned that he proposed to her in college, and then she left immediately without leaving a note, no word. And her reaction is like, wow, you're still not over that?
Yeah.
She's a sociopath.
We do not have time for this goddamn second chance meet cute. There's a fucking dinosaur running around loose.
A pregnant one.
I wrote, there is a dinosaur in Manhattan and he's making her tea and going to a bodega with her.
God.
And then he reveals to her Godzilla is pregnant. She's like, oh, that's interesting. Whoa, you still have pictures of like she's more excited about the fact that he has her old headshot in his suitcase.
Also, it's pouring raining and her hair is perfect.
Yeah.
Like when they go back to his
her curly hair.
Yeah.
Right.
So she steals top secret military footage.
Which we know because the VHS says top secret on the side.
Well, there's that, but also it's not like you're keeping Godzilla a secret at this point. Everyone knows he's in Manhattan. So
Right.
Could you imagine if that was like his reasoning, like when they got in an argument and she was all like, you didn't say it was off the record. He's like, the tape said top secret.
Top secret.
he pretty much does say that, I'm pretty sure. But like, who is moderating this news crew? Because Maria Pitillo steals this tape. She's able to develop an entire segment
This was my question.
with fake press credentials.
She cuts a package together and ends with her own little. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put the Big Apple back together again.
Shut the fuck up. Thousands are dying. Thousands are dying in the streets right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This news crew, this whole channel is getting their press credentials revoked.
It's insane.
The FCC is going to have their fucking lunch.
We see the footage of Gojira, the old man saying Gojira again. And I do love the smash cut to Harry Shearer saying Godzilla
Yep.
Yeah.
is the name of the beast.
Yep.
And like he crushes this thankless part.
He's pretty good.
It's the anglicization of Godzilla is as a plot point in this movie is actually, I think, very clever.
Well, back to me just dunking on this fucking character for one moment, Nathan. I'm sorry.
Please.
When she cuts her news segment together, and then he ends up taking it and just redoing the voice parts of it. So
Right.
it's his story, quote unquote. And then she has the nerve to go, "Hey, he stole my story." I'm like, "You're not a journalist."
Yeah.
Like,
My favorite bit is she goes, he stole it, and Animal just goes like, yeah, I know. He knew. He just let her find out in real time.
Yeah.
God damn it.
But made her sit down for it because he was like, oh, you got promo. It's coming up.
Yeah.
And then made her sit down to realize it.
I do love that, like, they see the news report, like, in the military bunker. They're like, he's like, oh, Godzilla's pregnant. And then, like, the news report comes up where it's, like, blasting the news report that we just saw.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Dunn goes, "You leaked the tape to the press?" And he goes, "No." And he says it exactly
Like Mark Wahlberg in The Happening. I wrote that down. I wrote that too.
No, what? No.
What? No.
It's so... they would put a bullet in this man's head for treason. They're
No,
like,
no.
what are you talking about?
You guys are scientists like me, so I know you got a conscience.
That's when Kevin Dunn's like, "Do you like hot dogs?" And then, yeah, he gets, like, kicked out. They're like, "Get the fuck out of here. You were no longer a credible scientist. You leaked this stuff to the press."
So Nick tries to go to the airport, and you're telling me flights aren't grounded during
That's
the
the thing.
Godzilla attack?
Yeah.
That's the thing. He's going to Newark, which I understand is across the bridge, but, like, Jesus Christ, I can't imagine any flights going out.
Yeah.
All of America was grounded during 9/11.
But also, even just during this weather, the
Yeah.
flights wouldn't leave.
Yeah.
It's raining constantly in this movie.
She also has the nerve, Maria Pitillo, because she sees him putting his shit into the back of a cab. And she goes, "Are you leaving? Why? Because of me?" And I'm like,
Yes.
You fucking dipshit.
She goes, is it because of my story? And I was like, yes, you're a fucking monster.
You fucking dipshit. Of course it's you. What else would it fucking be?
Oh.
God, I hate this character so much.
Well, you didn't say it was off the record. Shut the fuck up.
I would lose my. I would pick this woman up and DDT her in the middle of the street.
I've never hit a woman.
No,
I haven't either, but this would give me so much more.
I haven't either, but I would hug her and then shoot both of us in the head with one bullet.
The old one bullet Hitler scenario. I hear you.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so Jean Reno, like, hijacks the
Thank you for comparing me to Hitler, Dustin, by the way.
No. I'm saying that's if you only have one bullet, you're in
Is this our most problematic episode of the season?
This is why we had to go back on a break. You know what? We got to take another mid-season break.
Let's take another 6 weeks.
We'll figure it out.
I'm going to get married to Ashley again.
We'll figure it out. We'll come back.
Yeah.
But Jean Reno turns out to be this cab driver. He kidnaps Matthew Broderick. And he's like, "Look, we believe you. We believe that there's..." Because he says, Matthew Broderick says to the military, "We got to find the nest because Godzilla's clearly laid eggs. We got to get rid of those eggs."
It's really funny to me that the military's mad at Totopoulos, so they're like, "We don't believe your theories anymore." Like,
I know.
he's been right 100% of the time, and now he's like, Godzilla has laid eggs. You're looking at an apocalypse scenario, and they're like, "Get the fuck out of my office."
So Jean Reno and his crew are like, "Okay, we're enlist you into our aid, and we're gonna find the nest.
Yeah.
And so they pose as American soldiers.
Animal tails the French Secret Service without them knowing.
They get back into Manhattan with Jean Reno giving his Elvis impression.
A really funny bit.
Is it?
I like it. If it's not Jean Reno doing it, it doesn't work. But
Okay.
I find this man so charismatic.
I was going to say, because this is one of those attempts where I say it seems like they're trying to do a joke, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
I do
fair.
like that Jean Reno is like, he's having a ball in this movie. I will say that.
My favorite thing is the other guys. There's so many scenes where Jean Reno will like throw to the other Frenchman, and he's like, "Do you agree?" And like each of them just get one French word. Like one is like "bienvenue," "bonsoir." Like each of them gets to say one thing.
And so they go down into the subway tunnels, and they realize Godzilla's been like burrowing through the tunnels as like another way of navigating.
Oh, sorry. Before we get to that,
Please.
I do want to mention I love Animal's wife Lucy letting all of the refugees into their apartment,
It's
giving them
really
a place to stay. I think that's a good bit. And then I got to talk about, for conservatively 45 minutes, Animal's bedroom.
Oh my God.
Let's hear it.
On the headboard, do you have this as well, Moss?
Yeah.
On the headboard, there is a Scooby-Doo plush,
Yeah.
a pachinko machine, a starfish, and a
The
parking meter.
I'm trying to find a wide shot of it right now. I do see the Scooby-Doo plush.
It's Pee-wee's Playhouse, like in that room.
So yeah, those two team up, Maria Pitillo and Hank Azaria.
Yeah.
They tail the French Secret Service. They all go down to the subway tunnels. And honestly, because again, this is where we get to reveal that Godzilla's kind of been like burrowing through the subway tunnels as a way of navigating. And honestly, I'm just amazed that the entire integrity of the city's foundation isn't compromised, and Manhattan doesn't like just sink into a giant hole at this point.
Sure.
Because Godzilla is destroying the ground beneath the city.
Yeah. We haven't gotten Godzilla in Miami yet. Just give it time.
And absolutely nobody has running water, right?
No,
Right.
dude, the plumbing system alone, you would have to evacuate Manhattan for years
Yeah.
to fix all of this damage. So yeah, they've discovered that Madison Square Garden is where Godzilla has laid all his eggs.
Yeah.
And the military on the other hand is trying to lure Godzilla into Central Park with the fish again.
Yes.
But it's like they're trying to lure a dog into a kennel for a vet visit, because they're like, come on, they've got like floodlights and everything to guide them.
And the commander on board this nuclear submarine is the coroner from Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh my
who
God.
eats Jason's heart.
Yeah.
Oh, hell
Yeah. God, the military also have worse aim than like the stormtroopers in the new Hull. Like
So they blow up more buildings.
God, they do more damage, I think, than Godzilla does, all in all. It's so fucking funny.
I mean, the weird thing about this movie is how glib everyone is at every point. Like, people are just kind of like nonplussed by an extinction level event. They're making jokes. And granted, this was 3 years before September 11th, but it's just so strange that everyone is just kind of like, we're New Yorkers. We soldier on, you know?
Yep.
Like, that's not how a disaster happens, you know?
I know. Well, so Godzilla, gets chased into the Hudson.
Yes.
And my question is, why are there submarines in the Hudson? 'Cause I don't know. What the fuck are we doing?
Godzilla leaps like 1.5 miles to get into the water, too. It's wild.
And I do like that Godzilla, again, he's so good at dodging just rockets and torpedoes. When he dies under one of the submarines, just so the rockets from another can destroy it, that is so fucking funny.
It's
like,
good.
I would take an entire movie that's just those guys in that submarine, and it's like the opening of Dead Reckoning. Like, I just want to see just the final moments of those guys.
Speaking of which, that movie was good.
Dead Reckoning? Yeah, fucks.
Final Reckoning.
Oh, Final Reckoning.
Yeah, Final Reckoning. Saw it last night. It's great.
Nice.
Okay. Hell yeah.
We needed Ving Rhames in this movie.
Oh my God, yes.
That would be cool.
Ethan, he's been laying eggs in Madison Square Garden.
But he would be sitting down and wearing a hat. That's
Absolutely.
the extent of it. Yeah.
Also, just take note in this scene here where they just shine actual spotlights in his face.
Mm-hmm.
Not a problem. But later on,
Yeah. Earlier when Matthew Broderick uses the little disposable camera flash, Godzilla like reacts like he's just got blinded by those, those like annoying LED headlights that you see on the highway.
Yeah. But like they blast Godzilla with missiles underwater, and they're like, "We've killed him. We've destroyed the target." And we cut to Godzilla, and he's like, "Ugh!"
Yeah.
Like he's literally groaning, like he's still alive.
Yeah.
He's clearly still alive.
They're like, no need to retrieve the body. Bring everyone back into the city.
Who fucking cares? It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Why are Godzilla's eyes orange in this movie?
I don't know.
He's got cataracts, man. I don't know.
What the fuck?
Dude, he does look like he has cataracts.
Yeah, that's that radiation.
So back to the Madison Square Garden, Matthew Broderick and the French Polynesian Secret Service, they find a bunch of eggs that Godzilla has laid.
Right.
And my point is, because one of the eggs starts to hatch, I'm like, you got to shoot this thing in the mouth the second it starts to poke its head out. Like, don't even give it a chance.
Yeah, everybody's reaction is just kind of like, oh, neat.
Yeah.
Like when the eggs start hatching.
It's like when John Hammond sees the first dinosaur being born in Jurassic Park. Like,
Yeah.
We find out early in this scene that they don't have enough explosives to take out all the eggs.
Right.
Nope.
So my next thought would be, well, we have guns.
Right.
Yeah.
Why don't we just start shooting the eggs?
Right.
Well, look, here's the thing, too. They show a wide shot of all the eggs. And this is just in like the main floor of Madison Square Garden. We see
Right.
more later. And Matthew Broderick's like, there must be like 50 eggs here. I'm like, there's like 1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, you're not wrong.
That's a lot of nuts.
It is a lot of nuts. I'm like, technically, you're not wrong, but it's like when people are like, how many jelly beans are in this jar? I'm like, I don't know, at least 7. Like,
Let me have some.
God. And so, yeah, the colonel in this movie, the Kevin Dunn that we've talked about.
Yeah.
Or I guess he's not the colonel. I think he's no, wait, he is the colonel. The other guy's a sergeant.
Yeah.
He's like the biggest pushover of any military commander in a movie ever, because all it takes is Vicki Lewis going like, come on. And he goes, all right. Because he says,
Let's start searching all the subways. Hey, fuck you, Mr. Mayor. We're doing this.
Yep. And we did forget to mention this whole time, his assistant Gene is like, "Oh, you're too cranky. Here, eat some Hershey's Kisses or whatever to fucking calm you down."
Yeah. Here's your snacks.
And it's so fucking lazy.
There's literally a scene where Gene goes, "Here's some have some candy."
Yeah.
It's so lame.
Yeah.
So they decide to call the military, and Jean Reno hands Matthew Broderick his satellite phone, and he can't get through. There's a busy signal. So Matthew Broderick then goes to a payphone to try to call the same number. And I'm like, the busy signal means it's a problem on their end. Like, it's not, you don't have to change phones. That blew, like, I don't know why I got really hung up on this, but it really made me mad that not only is there power inside Madison Square Garden, but he changed phones.
I know we already talked about the CG being bad in this movie, but when we see like the little Godzillas, it's so bad. They all look like a bunch of reptiles from Mortal Kombat, which I
Yes.
thought was pretty apt. Like,
the practical Zillas aren't too bad.
The practicals look great.
Yeah.
they are great, but whenever they start running around,
Yes.
Oh God, yeah.
God, I expected that voice to go reptile.
Reptiles.
I had the toy for this one.
Oh,
yeah, I had one of those too.
Speaking of Looney Tunes, when he drops the gumballs and shit.
God,
Oh my
okay,
God.
that bit was pretty funny. I'll give him the gumballs bit.
It was good.
But right, it becomes the Lost World here, right?
It is so Lost World for sure. And then like when Matthew Broderick has to take the elevator and he comes off to one of the floors and there's the Godzilla's eating the popcorn. He goes, "Oh, wrong floor." Again, I would be going, I'd be fucking shitting my pants, man.
Matthew Broderick has the biggest plot armor in this scene because
Yeah.
these Godzilla babies, they don't even hesitate to take out the French guys.
Right.
I know.
Yeah, like he opens a door.
Yes, this is what we know. You go for it, JT.
Yeah, Matthew Broderick opens a door, sees a bunch of them staring at him, and he's like, and then shuts the door.
Closes the door, and it's fine.
It's fine.
He can leave.
Oh, their mouths are gross.
He can be on the elevator, have time to say a one-liner, and then get away.
Right. And why is he's just smacking that elevator button very inappropriately. I don't need a close-up of Matthew Broderick just like bap in an elevator button.
There's also the part where like Hank Azaria and them are running from one of the Godzillas. I'm like, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but there's nothing more infuriating than like in an action movie when things that have been shown to have like a constant tenor.
Yes.
Like how fast and aggressive they run. Suddenly they're slow. Like he's able to turn around and gawk at them for a minute and then like turn back around.
It depends on the scene whether or not they're stalking or running.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I do like this bit where one of the French guys like pours a bunch of bullets into the door and then like the shadows moving behind the bullet holes is a pretty nice shot. That's a good bit.
Yeah,
that is good.
But also, like, with all this running around that they're doing inside of Madison Square Garden, you might as well put like the Scooby-Doo chase music underneath it because it's about as goofy as that.
Yeah. Yes.
They use the gumballs, like JT said, to like trip up some of the dinosaurs, and then
They have like the banana peel slip sound.
Exactly.
But then mixed in here are some like weirdly inspired bits. The shot of when Animal points the camera at the room full of swarming baby Godzillas, I think that's pretty effective.
Yeah.
Oh, it's scary as hell.
It's good. Yeah. And you just kind of wish the rest of the movie had the kind of solemnity that this sequence has. Like it's the one time it seems like anybody takes anything seriously.
Oh, when they showed like from the camera angle when they're broadcasting to the news, all those Godzillas running around, it feels like it's just a bunch of xenomorphs down.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes. Oh, totally. Yeah.
But also because their plan is okay. Well, we can't get a phone call out. We'll talk through the intranet that because this is Madison Square Garden, they can broadcast to the news channels and everything. We'll broadcast to the news editor here and just send them a message like, hey, here's the nest. It's all in Madison Square Garden. You got to get this message out.
And Ed, the news editor, is like, there's no Ranger game on tonight.
Yeah,
Like,
no shit.
Ed.
The Rangers are dead.
Maria Pitillo
Don't you say that.
starts to do a segment and she hijacks a news broadcast channel during like a catastrophic event.
Yes.
This woman would be sent to a CIA black site after all this. Like,
Yeah. She's basically the Riddler in this movie.
she is going to Gitmo. I'm sorry. She just is.
Straight to Guantanamo.
God. Like, how many war crimes does she break in this movie? And then she's like, oh, are you mad at me?
And she takes a moment during this broadcast to make fuck me eyes at Matthew Broderick. She's
Oh,
like, I guess your
God.
theory was right after all. And he looks at her like, I love you too. Like, guys, people are dying. People are dying, Kim.
And then afterwards, the moment it ends, he's like, thank you, Audrey.
I'd be like, this does not make up for anything.
I do like this bit though. This cheesy romantic score is playing during this moment, and the second it cuts back to Jean Reno, this shot right here, it goes, like the score like turns sour. It's a nice little bit.
I do like that when they are trying to run away, we get the gumball stuff. And like I said, that just the sheer amount of the little baby Godzillas we get when they get to the lobby is so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But also, these dinosaurs would not give half a shit about you shooting the chandeliers and the glass breaking around them. They would,
No.
Oh my God. That shit is so dumb.
Yeah.
they would bite your fucking head off.
So this reminded me of, this is a deep cut, Tremors 2.
Yeah.
When they sprayed themselves with the fire extinguisher to be cold.
Yes.
So the new graboids can't see them. They just kind of like shimmy by.
They're called shriekers.
Oh, sorry.
Idiot.
Also, they get outside of Madison Square Garden right as the rockets hit it. They would be vaporized
Yes.
in this scene. Like,
This shot of the baby Godzillas blowing up is visceral.
Yeah.
I didn't need to see that.
I did. It's fucking hilarious.
Ashley went, oh.
When you see them, they're all screeching and then the flames envelop around them. I lost it. I laughed so fucking hard.
It's wild. Sarah Connor style.
But I remember watching it as a kid and I was all like, I felt bad for them. But I
Yeah.
was also like, who am I supposed to be rooting for here?
Guys, I may be like embarrassing myself here, but I have a visceral reaction to Godzilla reappearing and nudging this dead baby on the road.
Yeah.
Like it's
Already dead.
it genuinely upsets me.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I think it's fucking funny as hell.
Oh.
I'm a psychopath, though.
And then Godzilla thinks that this taxi killed my babies.
Yeah.
And is out for blood.
Oh yeah, no, he decides he's like it's their fault.
Yeah.
Dude, the fact that Maria Pitillo has the nerve to be like, oh, I'd like to find out about your career.
No.
Like, and then she kisses him.
Yeah.
God damn it. I could not stand it. But also,
You can find out because we're both going to be in prison for this.
yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
You can find out when we both spend eternity in hell.
Godzilla emerges from the wreckage of Madison Square Garden. Like you said, Nathan sees its dead children.
Sure.
And then they start to run away because he starts to chase after them. And then Maria Pitillo falls. I would feed her to Godzilla at this point. Like, this is what you fucking deserve. And I would just shove her. I would trip her up as we're running down the alley.
I don't think you're getting Maria Pitillo as a guest on this podcast 3 times soon.
Let me rephrase that. Her character. I would trip. You know that old phrase of like, you don't have to outrun a bear. You just have to outrun your best friend. Like, that's exactly how I feel about this character in this situation.
Is that an old saying?
That's an old saying.
I've never heard that before.
In the Hollywood household, that's what we say all the time.
Okay. All right. Your poor kids.
And then I've never hot wired a car before.
Oh, dude, you got to.
But I don't think you can just jam a pocket knife into the ignition.
But when you're a French Secret Service, you can.
Oh, they have those pocket knives that are shaped like keys, like skeleton keys.
It's a special knife.
Skeleton knife.
Skeleton knife.
It's actually a baguette.
Nick asks, do we know where there's a suspension bridge nearby? Like, he knows somehow. He's like, that's the only way to catch Godzilla is to take him to a bridge.
I've seen the movie 5 minutes from now. So
yeah.
I know where we got to go.
So much like Justin Timberlake, they take it to the bridge.
Oh my God.
Matthew Broderick throwing the taxi info at the sergeant dude, like
the plate.
There's no way he would have heard him.
Probably not.
Or known what to
do with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if he was smart.
Yeah, I'm fucking dumb, JT. What do you want?
So wait, where did he get this camera? Because he dropped one camera at Madison Square Garden, and
it got stomped by Jean Reno, right?
Right.
New York City is littered with cameras just laying around, man.
That's right.
I tell you,
that's right.
Littered with broadcast cameras.
Stole it from one of those Disney stores.
Yeah.
But also, like, they get this taxi cab. They start outrunning Godzilla, who was able to, remember, outrun attack helicopters earlier.
Right.
The movie should be over by now, and we have an additional, like, 20-something minutes, which is crazy.
Right. They get caught in Godzilla's mouth.
Well, they go down in the tunnel, and they're like, okay, we got to get to the nearest bridge, whatever. So they turn on the high beams right as they're escaping the tunnel to blind Godzilla.
Right.
And, yeah, they get to this bridge, the suspension bridge. Godzilla seems to have known exactly where they were going, so he emerges from the bridge.
Brooklyn.
And he fucking starts to chomp down on this taxi cab with them in it. He ate a fucking attack helicopter earlier, I will remind you.
Right.
And he's really struggling with this taxi cab.
I did laugh at Hank Azaria yelling, "You gotta be kidding me, man. We're in his mouth."
And then, so Matthew Broderick takes a live electrical wire and shoves it into his tooth like a real asshole.
Yeah.
I bet that felt good for like a second.
He was like,
I'm about to come.
This taxi is still able to drive away out of his mouth.
Yeah.
And he gets tangled up like a fucking dickhead in the suspension cables on this bridge. And then they just fucking blast him multiple times with a rocket. He does. He looks like a fucking dildo wrapped up in all these fucking cables.
I read a story about how they had like 200 unpaid extras in this scene to like stand around and watch Godzilla get killed. And it was a bunch of Godzilla fans.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like upset to find out that Godzilla is killed by like conventional weapons.
Yeah, like fighter jets and shit.
Yeah.
How is this bridge able to hold his weight is my question.
He's not as fucking pudgy as old Godzilla. That's what Roland Emmerich wanted. A Godzilla who could stand on a bridge like a man.
Man, so the rockets kill Godzilla. He collapses right in front of Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
And dude, you watch the light leave this fucking iguana's eye.
That's a wild shot. That is, I rewound it because I was like, there's truly like a flicker that leaves his eyes.
Oh my God, I laughed so fucking hard.
And on top of that moment, though, the one good piece of acting Matthew Broderick does in this movie is that slow head tilt right after Godzilla dies.
Yep.
Like, I think it's a genuinely nice moment, but holy shit, the shot before it is nuts.
They made it seem like it's an emotional thing between him and Matthew. Like Matthew Broderick just lost.
He's the Fay Ray to his King Kong. Yeah. So I'm telling you.
Honestly, like Audrey kind of like broke them up because I think they would have ended up together.
I would have liked to seen this throuple play out.
Hell yeah.
I think that's maybe what it was Roland Emmerich was like, oh yeah, I'll make a Godzilla movie. And what he was thinking of was King Kong. And he was like, oh fuck, I've made the wrong choice.
This is the movie about the monkey.
And then, so Mayor Ebert is like, this is a fucking shit show or whatever. And Gene Gene quits.
Right.
And is like, you know what I think about you and your campaign? And he gives him a thumbs down. I was like, ha, he fucking got his ass.
Cowabunga, dude.
Oh, I loved that moment.
It's good.
Yeah, so Godzilla's fucking dead. Maria Pitillo gets put on a direct flight to The Hague for that.
Yeah.
Or at least that's in the extended cut that happens. And then, yeah, she has this smug little I quit to her boss. And I'm like, I don't think you have to worry about that. I think your job is.
I think you're fired.
You're fired.
Yeah, you're not only fired, you're disappearing.
Harry Shearer comes up to her and says, I'm so glad we got this exclusive story. Audrey, you're beautiful.
That's all he can say.
It's so insane.
He talks like he's an anchor like the entire time on
Yeah.
and off camera, and it's such a good bit.
He's doing his Smithers voice
Yeah.
from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we get Jean Reno steals the tape from Animal and leaves town. And the hubris of Roland Emmerich to repeat the shot from the end of Casablanca as
Dude.
Philippe is walking into the alleyway
Dude.
is insane.
I do like that that Kevin Dunn does give his subordinate like, hey, you did a good job.
Good job, man. Yeah.
Because this guy, we didn't talk about it, but he has he's like a scaredy cat, basically. He's like got a stuttering problem and everything.
And he's like stuttering through the whole movie. Yeah.
yeah, and then at the end, his stutter's gone. I did think that was nice.
That was kind of nice. Yeah.
And yeah, the nerve of this movie to have this last egg in Madison Square Garden hatch open. Like,
Yeah.
End your movie, Emmerich. End your fucking movie. It's honestly surprising we didn't get a sequel to this.
Yeah.
Because of how much fucking money it made. Maybe Toho only granted them the license for the one or something. I don't know.
It's crazy.
And then, yeah, it's incredibly fitting to end this movie with the Diddy butchering one of Led Zeppelin's best songs, much like Roland Emmerich butchered Toho's legacy.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I am saying now all the Jean-Luc, Jean-Claude, Jean-Pierre.
It's so funny.
That's a good joke. I like that.
It's actually a really good joke.
That's great. And this song is long.
It's
I
so long.
skimmed through the credits to hear if there was maybe there was like a mid-credit scene I missed or something. No, the song plays for like 7 minutes of the credits.
And then the second half of the credits, if I'm correct, is that fucking awful Wallflowers cover of David Bowie's Heroes, right?
I think you're right.
That was like the other big single from the soundtrack.
I think you're right. Yeah.
God damn.
There's also a Rage Against the Machine song on the soundtrack that has a lyric that's basically like, Godzilla is bullshit. Like there's a lyric that's like Godzilla's distracting you from the really important stuff.
Probably.
That soundtrack is wild.
And yeah, that's that is Godzilla.
Dustin, why are you
Nothing, no reason.
why are you searching Bumblebee?
I just wanted to get a picture of Bumblebee tune-up on the screen.
Okay.
Gojira.
So yeah, that's Godzilla 1998, fellas. Any notes that we missed?
No, I think we've given this movie as much time as it deserves.
Absolutely.
I've got some fun hypotheticals.
Okay.
Could you imagine one of those Side Talk NYC videos set during this movie?
Oh, no, I cannot.
Secondly, which Sex and the City character do you think Godzilla is in this film?
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh god, he's such a Charlotte.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That was Ali and I's pick.
That's amazing.
Or I think we're missing an opportunity here. Or he's Mr. Big.
Oh, that's good.
Oh.
You guys didn't like that one. You hated that. Just
No,
say you hated
no. Because this Godzilla would die on a Peloton. Canonically, how Mr. Big dies. Spoiler alert.
And then I've got a question for JT.
Yeah.
Would you rather watch All Monsters Attack over this one?
Yes.
Okay, Sam.
Yes, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Have y'all seen that one?
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Yeah, because that's the one that's Manila and like
Yeah.
the kid like imagining
Yeah.
Godzilla's enemies.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I'd watch that over this one. It's like a clip show, basically.
Yeah, the laziest Godzilla movie ever made.
It's awful.
I had to do a long pause because I had to think about it.
Yeah, because that one is truly bad.
So that was a question I was going to pose to especially Moss and JT, but Dustin, feel free to weigh in. As Godzilla fans,
Yeah.
what's a better use of people's time? Like, let's say like not even necessarily your favorite Godzilla movie, but like what would be a better use of your time watching another? Like, what other Godzilla movie would be a better use of your time?
Well, we covered All Monsters Attack.
Any of them? Just any of them?
Yeah. I'll even say like some of the ones I rated lower.
Okay.
So I would say, let me pull up the list real quick.
Oh, you have a ranking. Beautiful.
Every hardcore Godzilla fan has a ranking.
I should do one.
I can tell you mine real quick. If we're just talking about like something as equally as stupid but more entertaining, I think either of those Godzilla X Kong movies, they're dumb, but they're fun at least.
I liked the new Empire way more than I expected to. And
I did
movie
too.
Is so dumb.
It's so stupid, but I like both of them. But yeah, they're really stupid.
I would throw out Godzilla versus Gigan as a fun alternative to this one.
That's a decent pick.
Yeah.
I would even go as far as to like say like Son of Godzilla would be a way better usage of your time.
Oh, see, that's maybe my least favorite of the originals.
Yeah.
Of the Showa era. Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's hard to say that because every other Godzilla movie is better than this one.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So even Son of Godzilla being so bad.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would say Godzilla versus Hedorah.
Yeah.
Which Hedorah's a beloved monster.
That movie rips.
I love that one.
But the movie itself is so wild. Well, the trippy like acid scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
I would also say a better usage of your time would be watching the North Korean monster movie.
The Host?
Well, that's South Korean.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this, Pulgasari.
Oh, yeah.
Pulgasari is a North Korean movie that was made under an abduction of the Japanese filmmakers.
No shit.
And honestly, that movie rips.
I'm going to look that up after this. Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't know that backstory.
So wait, is this our pick-me-ups that we're doing now? Or?
Well, I think we were just talking about Godzilla related.
Sure. Okay.
Like, what's a better Godzilla?
Yeah.
All right, just making sure. Well, that's actually a good segue, I think.
Yeah.
Unless you guys have any other notes, we can get into our wrap-up segments with Prop Cop.
Let's do it.
So if you're new to the show, Prop Cop is where we each are going to look at all of the props.
Yeah.
And that can include anything that is physical and tangible in the movie Godzilla 1998. And we are going to steal one for ourselves. Much like Maria Pitillo stole that top secret tape, we're going to steal some stuff as well. Nathan, this is your movie. What prop would you like the most?
Oh, man. I was really stuck between two, but I think I gotta go with Animal's hat with the cat print that he's wearing before he gets stepped on by Godzilla. It's a good look.
Good pick.
All right. Mosh, you're our guest. What prop do you want?
I want the old man's chair that he brought fishing with him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He didn't even use it.
You know that's worn in.
Yeah. JT?
I got a couple, so if you want to go ahead and go.
Oh, okay. I just want one of Mayor Ebert's re-election posters with the thumbs up on it.
That's pretty good.
That's all I want.
That's a good one.
What do you want, JT?
There is a Independence Day alien toy
Yeah.
on the monitor at Madison Square Garden in the broadcasting room.
Okay.
So I would take that. But my second choice was the forged press pass, so I can turn her into the proper authorities.
What a hero.
That Independence Day toy, that's in Madison Square Garden?
Yeah. Here.
Yeah, send me a picture of it.
Yeah, it's in the recording booth.
Oh, okay.
I'm also a fan of Nick Totopoulos' red leather jacket. He's wearing Dakota Johnson's Madam Web jacket through the second half of this movie.
Madam Web, if she hooks up with the French Polynesian Secret Service, now we'll get something done.
Bonjour.
Yeah.
And then there's in Madison Square Garden also there's a light up Blockbuster Video sign that I really want to.
I saw that. Yeah. There's a lot of good product placement in there.
Doesn't it's right here. It's just the back of it though.
That's pretty great.
That's fun.
All right. Well, let's talk about some fantasy casting with Bit Part.
Woo.
Walker told me I have AIDS.
What was that?
Nathan heard it.
It was Haley Joel Osment on Walker Texas Ranger.
Play it again.
Play it again.
Walker told me I have AIDS.
I saw that for the first time when Conan O'Brien used to have the Walker lever. He would play clips from Walker Texas Ranger. Oh my God, that's so good. The handjob man himself.
So Bit Part is where we look at all of the side characters, the smaller roles, typically characters that don't have names, and we try to recast them as ourselves just so we can say, hey, we were in this movie too.
Yeah.
Who is a good Bit Part to play? Moss, we'll start with you. Who do you want to be in the movie?
I want to be the guy who's driving on the freeway who hits the soy jack face when Godzilla jumps over the bridge.
Sure.
Yeah, that's good.
And then crashes into the boat. That's me.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Nathan, what about you?
I have two.
Okay.
I know I'm being greedy in this episode. There's the forklift operator early in the movie who goes, "I'm getting soaked over here."
Yeah, I thought about that guy too.
And then there's a bit, this one doesn't really count because he's a little more of a featured player, but Jean Reno's, one of his guys, whenever he pours him the coffee and he goes, I thought you said you got French roast. And he peeks out and he goes, French roast.
Yeah,
like he holds up the can.
Yep. Hell yeah.
I love that line delivery so much.
JT, who do you want to be?
So there's this news anchor that I pulled up on the playback.
Uh-huh.
And the way he reads it's almost like he phoned in his lines.
Okay.
But also really badly. And his mouth is hardly moving. And he has like, he just turns like he's got a stick like in his back or something.
But he does turn really weirdly. You're right.
Dude, that shit cracked me up so much.
He looks like a Muppet. Oh, he's the guy who's like, thousands of refugees want to come back into New York City.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, he says they're clogging the arteries of New York.
Yeah, it's so awful.
I want to be the attack helicopter pilot whose helicopter Godzilla just eats. He's like, I lost him. And then you just cut to a bird's eye view.
That's really good.
Godzilla reaching up and eating him.
All Godzilla did was duck down.
Yep.
He just ran around the
That's his move, man. He just ducks.
Yeah.
That's all he does is duck.
There's a scene in this movie where Godzilla is at the end of a tunnel and two guys with flashlights don't see him.
Yeah.
They're just like, there's nothing down here. And then Godzilla gets up and goes, ugh, and they don't notice.
He sits up and like looks at them with his eye, and the other guy doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
And growls.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You know, fat Godzilla couldn't do that.
No.
Absolutely not. He wouldn't have fit.
He could never fit in that tunnel.
All right.
You're a great big fat Godzilla.
Oh, wait.
oh, wait.
Dustin, I have an idea for y'all.
Okay,
Oh.
please.
So I took the liberty to do this earlier this week,
Uh-oh.
but I recast Godzilla 98 for now.
Oh,
Yes,
boy.
please.
Okay.
Can I go with mine?
Of course.
And I want to hear some of y'all's suggestions.
Oh my God. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Stavros Halkias is Nicholas Tatopoulos for the Greek American audience.
Okay.
I'd say Jason Mantzoukas, but okay.
Sydney Sweeney as Audrey.
Okay.
Okay.
Vincent Cassell as Philippe.
Sure.
And Chris DiStefano as Victor.
Oh boy.
Who is Victor? Is that Animal?
Yeah.
That's Animal.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I would cast Animal from the Muppets as Animal.
I don't know. I don't know if casting is the problem with this movie, if we're being honest.
Right.
But I mean, I think I can just recast Matthew Broderick.
Sure.
And it's not going to be a very popular choice, but I think it would be fun just because I want to see them in a lot more action movies. And I've already seen them in a couple, but couldn't hurt to have more. Why don't we just get Glenn Powell to fucking just do it?
I knew you were going to say Glenn Powell.
I like Glenn Powell.
I'm honestly open for that. Absolutely.
I like Glenn Powell.
I'm open to that.
All right. Well,
Directed by the entity from Mission Impossible.
let's talk about the silver lining to Godzilla 98.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and go first.
Sure.
'Twas beauty killed the beast. Godzilla's fucking dead, so that's mine.
That's good.
And at the very least, if you just got a baby Godzilla left, we've seen what rockets do to them.
That's
so
right.
I think you can get rid of that one pretty quickly. Boss, what about you? What's your silver lining?
I've got two.
Okay.
My silver lining is the Knicks were spared from the misery of the gentleman's sweep in the NBA Finals by the San Antonio Spurs.
Uh-huh.
And for some fun information, because Jan de Bont's original vision for this movie failed, we got Twister, which fucking rips.
Yeah.
I like that. Nathan, what about you?
We've talked about it a couple of times, but Nick and Audrey, I guess, escape consequences for committing capital offenses.
Oh my God, so many crimes.
Her emails.
Her footage leaks. JT?
We talked about it a little bit earlier, but the TV show, the animated TV show, I think was very solid. It branched off enough. I can't remember the exact thing, but they used like Godzilla had friends.
Yeah.
With the humans.
Benefits. It was weird. It was the first Fox Kids show that just had like hardcore penetration in every episode.
Whoa.
Which was weird because Godzilla doesn't have a dick.
No
Yeah,
dick.
No dick.
He's got other holes, but that's okay. So your silver lining is that we got a good kids cartoon out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second silver lining is more holes. No, I like that, JT. That's a good meta lining.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we've already talked a little bit about alternatives, but what is a movie that people should watch as a pick-me-up? Anyone want to go first?
I got one. I will recommend the movie I watched immediately after this one, which is also set in New York City and features the Wallflowers on the soundtrack. 2001's Zoolander.
Oh, boy. Okay.
A movie that held up way better than I expected.
Okay. All right. JT, what are you going to watch?
Again, we mentioned it earlier, but Godzilla Final Wars.
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
Due to it's the only appearance I know of Zilla being in another live action movie.
Right.
Okay. Moss?
We talked about it quite a few times in this Jurassic Park: The Lost World.
Yeah. Which I haven't rewatched since I was a kid. Is that movie good?
It's fine.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's better than this.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's better than 3.
Yeah.
That I don't know if I agree with you.
I
don't know
like
if I agree
3.
with you.
Wait, you two like 3?
I do.
I kind of fuck with 3.
That's insane.
3's like a theme park ride. But granted, I haven't watched that probably since college either. But I remember having a fun time.
Alan.
I just remembered that guy stealing the egg, and it just pissed me off so much.
Yeah.
My only problem with that movie is he should have been killed by those pterodactyls. That's the only problem with that movie. The only problem with that movie.
Is that Joaquin Phoenix in that movie?
No.
Who is it?
Alessandro Niavola?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So I do need to rewatch that.
I'm going to go with another big budget disaster movie that I'm sure the director would also like to say stick it somewhere, Ebert and Siskel. And I'm going to go with the other Razzie nominated movie that this one was running up against that season. And I'm going to go with Armageddon.
Yeah.
Good pick.
That movie's fun. It's stupid, but it's fun.
Oh, God, yeah.
And this movie is stupid and not fun.
It's in the Criterion Collection for a reason.
'Cause even when I dream of you, the sweetest dream will never do.
I still miss you, baby.
Holy shit, we got Steven Tyler in here?
Hey guys, I'm a creep.
We know Steven. Do we recommend
Goodbye.
Godzilla 1998?
Nah. I know it sucks when it's my movie that I picked.
You don't have to explain yourself.
But it's just not fun.
Yeah.
Like there's stuff to talk about. I've had a good time chatting with you fellas about it, but it's kind of a slog to get through.
Yep.
It sucks to watch.
And to Moss's point, it sucks to watch.
It's not a good time at all.
I literally just wrote down, nope. Just nope. That's my review of the movie. Not interested.
Yeah.
I probably will never watch this movie again unless I'm forced to.
Oh.
I will say it made for a nice date night. I've been extremely busy with rehearsals for a play. And last night I looked at my wife and asked her, do you want to watch Godzilla with me tonight? And she said, yes. And then my extremely woke wife asked if we could get Japanese takeout to watch Godzilla 1998 together.
That rules.
That's awesome.
That rules.
And you know what? It was a good evening together.
I watched it alone in my office at like 1 a.m. with headphones on so I wouldn't wake everyone up.
And a gun on the desk.
And my pants off. And
Hell
anyways,
yeah.
that is Godzilla 1998 from Roland Emmerich. If you want more of the show, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/silverliningsplaylist. We can get a 7-day free trial followed by just $1 a month after that. There is so much stuff happening on there.
Mm-hmm.
We had Show Guys, which is 16 full episodes all about me and Nathan discussing the movie Showgirls.
That's right.
There is The Secret of the Dudes, where every episode we're talking about a new entry into the Ninja Turtles franchise. We just did, by the time this episode comes out, let me see the schedule real quick. By the time this one comes out, we will have just released our episode on, I think Turtles Forever is the next one.
Nice. That was a fun time.
We had a lot of fun with that one. Yeah. And there's a ton of other stuff you can do on there. Not to mention, there is also a free tier to that as well, where you don't get as much, but you do get some cool bonus things that you can only get there. So check that out. If you're not following us on social media, you should do so on Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, and Lemonade. If you haven't already, please subscribe, rate, and leave feedback wherever you're listening to us, whether that's the podcast app on iOS, if it's Spotify, wherever you're listening, please give us a follow, a like, all that good stuff. We really, really appreciate that. I do my best to reply to every comment that we get on Spotify and YouTube and etc. So feel free to do so there.
Yeah.
If you've got a bit part suggestion, and it doesn't have to be related to any of the movies we've done so far, just a funny line that someone says in a movie or something like that you think we should add to the soundboard and use in our bit part rotation, you can email us at the civilizedplaylist@gmail.com, or you can use the contact us form on our website at tslppodcast.com. Moss, thank you so much for coming on and bringing your Godzilla expertise yet again, talking about this film.
Of course.
And I'd love to throw out another thing. If you guys want to hear Dustin talking about another Razzie-nominated picture, you should check out the recent episode of the Cinema Psychos show where he talks about Maximum Overdrive. An episode I was unfortunately not able to make, but such a fun time.
It was a lot of fun.
It's great. Terrible movie.
It's absolutely terrible. And I want to plug something once here
and then that movie.
and I won't plug it again, but I do want to plug just one time. I have started a TikTok page that has absolutely nothing to do with movies or TV shows or video games or anything like that. I'm doing kind of a social experiment where I am trying to see if one person can establish hypothetical legislation to fix the issues that I see are transparent, or I should say the issues I see that are apparent in America. And this TikTok page is called Fixing America 2025. You can just search for that user tag on there. Every weekday, I'll post a 1 to 5 minute video where I'm just coming up with hypothetical laws that could fix some problems that I see. So
nice.
Feel free to follow that.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
It's doing okay. I'm very, very happy with it, and I'm very thankful for the people that follow it.
Yeah.
And I do want to give a fan shout out.
Yeah.
Real quick before we get into the wrap up stuff.
Absolutely.
I greatly appreciate all the fans that have reached out,
yes.
Whether it's by email, whether it's on the Patreon, whatever they may be, to let us know how we're doing and to say that they appreciate the show. There is one fan in particular that JT and I especially have been having correspondence with. So for those who don't know, when we were taking our mid-season break, we were doing some live streams on our TikTok. If you missed those, you should be on the Patreon or should be following us on social media to know when we do it. But JT and I would stream a video game for like an hour or two and talk and hang out with people that came by. And I do want to give a shout out to Jordan, who came by every stream damn near.
Jordan.
And just had a blast talking to us. We really appreciate the kind words that he had for us and everything. And I just want to reward that.
And also hung out with us for the entirety of Showgirls 2, correct?
I think so. I think so.
God bless.
Yeah, no, I truly appreciate that kind of dedication. And not to say that I need that from everybody, but I just wanted to give him a shout out because he's been seriously a trooper.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's always in chat popping off. And even after the stream, I would tell Dustin, it's like, I'd rather have 20 Jordans than over 1,000 like random people that's not chatting, not interacting. Nothing.
Yeah. I will be honest, I thought you said I'd rather have a horny Jordan than 1,000 people. I was like, you know what? Me too. Why not?
Hey, hell yeah.
But yeah, if you do want to check us out on those live streams, just look out on social media. We usually post either like an hour or so, or even like right when we start, and we'll stream on TikTok. I probably won't be doing it as much while we're actively in the middle of a season, but when we're on break and stuff, I'll try and do that fairly regularly. But yeah, check those out on TikTok.
Can I throw out one more plug as well?
Sure.
So my wife and I also have a podcast together. Oh, That's a Scary Movie. And we took a hiatus while we were planning the wedding. We are back. We just released our 100th episode.
Hell yeah.
And our plan is to continue going strong through the rest of the year. And, you know, both podcast wise and in marriage.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Right on, brother.
And beyond.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the only last little bit of news we have to do before we get out of here is I got to give you guys a clue for what we're talking about next week.
Sure.
And my clue is I'm not going to talk about Judy. In fact, we're not going to talk about Judy at all. We're going to keep her out of it.
But next week, I will say we're going to be talking about my mother's sister's girl.
I cannot wait. I am so fucking excited to talk about next week's movie.
I'm chomping at the bit.
Yes.
Oh man. Can I tease one thing?
Sure.
One of my top 10 favorite films of all time.
You know what? I've only seen it the once.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this might break the barrier. This might be in the top 10.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it next week. I will say a very somber subject matter next week.
It's a heavy episode, but there's going to be some good conversation.
Absolutely. There's some very funny parts to talk about.
Yes.
And I'm going to use it as a launching pad to talk about some other stuff that I just want to talk about.
Okay. All right.
But anyways, come back next week for that. And yeah, that's everything I got. So thank you for listening, everybody. Tune in next week. Rest in peace, Oatmeal, and I guess Godzilla. And as always, look at all that friggin' fish.
That's a lot of fish.
And just like that, Big died.
And that wraps up another fantastic episode of the Silver Linings playlist. If you would be so kind, we ask that you leave us some feedback on how we did, plus a like and subscribe. We'll be back next week with another great episode. See ya!